everybody, here we are. We're at the end of our wellness plan, and I'm going to revisit our analogy items from a few weeks ago. Notice we have your drumstick still here, your tennis ball. We've got your plastic cup, toy blocks, matchbox car, monkey dude, and backpack. However, I have added something to all of them. So with the drumstick, I now have the other drumstick, and I've got a snare drum, and it's loud. It works. It is. It's real. With the tennis ball, I now have a tennis racket. Do we have any real tennis players out there? I wonder if I have any space for an overhand serve. I don't think so, but I've got our tennis ball and tennis racket. I've got our matchbox car, complete with the other matchbox car that me and my son like to play crash with. Sometimes we even take hammers and dent them up a little bit like they got in a wreck, you know? And it's always slow motion when things get into a wreck. Oh no, watch out for that other car. Ah, and the cliff, no! Okay, so we've got the other matchbox car. I have my toy blocks. I have my monkey dude. My monkey dude is here hanging out with all his friends. Get it? Hanging out with his friends. I have my plastic cup now filled with the elixir of life, water. And I have our backpack filled with everything that you need to know for life. Ooh, Calvin and Hobbes. That was a good one. The universe. What if we're all just dust in a giant's eye? I've got the Sneetches. I've learned a lot from that book. And I have, okay, this one's not so good, but the other ones are pretty good. All for the sake of learning. Okay, so the question is going to be, of course, why did we just add to our analogy items as we finished up our goal setting assignment? Why have we added things to the original one item? Okay, hopefully you can see some of those metaphors and analogies that are happening. Why the added pieces? What has happened in a few weeks of life while working towards a goal? Okay, typical 8th grade responses are that we work fine by ourselves, but when we add other things, then we can even do more. We have more purpose. A drumstick alone can hold a beat, but with the other drumstick and the snare drum, of course, we have a little bit more of a beat that we can hold. The tennis ball is fine, but with a racket now we can start to play. You know, so we're adding to ourselves in the meantime, and we've added to the analogy items. Okay, I've got a second thing I want to point out with our analogy items, is that each of these is flawed. This drum is really old. It's got a big old hole in it. It still works. It's not perfect, but it works. But it's got a flaw. My flaw to our tennis racket, well, it's an old tennis ball, but my racket, this isn't even tennis racket grip tape. This is just athletic tape. Happens to be black. I should get some new strings on there. It's pretty slippery. What if I'm playing and I lose the racket across the net? What if it flies across and it hits my opponent in the face while I'm playing? Is that a fail or is that a win? Maybe I lose the point, but maybe I win the match, you know? My matchbox cars, well, the purple one and the red one, this one, which one is it? This one stops ever so suddenly. They're plastic wheels, you know? And this one takes the no left turns thing almost literally. It veers off ever so slightly to the right. Now, it's not like little kids are going to say something like, I can't play with this one. It veers off ever so slightly to the right. No, it's fine. For our function, for what we're doing, for our purpose, it works. It's not perfect, but it works. Our toy blocks, there's an issue. I didn't actually add to the blocks. So maybe this is like somebody that has written down a wish, but they weren't actively working towards their goal. This is somebody that didn't really do too much in a week to a month to more of life, right? I don't know if you can tell, but my plastic cup, there's a couple of flaws going on. First of all, it's a Cubs cup. The second issue is I have to have another one in here because it leaks. It ever so slightly drips and it leaks. It's kind of like the Cubs organization of the last 108 years, just leaking talent, you know. It works. It's not perfect, but it certainly works. My Barrel of Monkeys game, It has no top to it. I lost the top to it a long time ago. One 8th grader one year goes, "Where'd you lose it?" His friends had to explain to him that by definition, lost means I don't know where it is. Okay? Anyway, it works fine. I can work with gravity all day until my arm gives out. It works okay until, of course, I lose it in my backpack maybe and it dumps out, or I drop it on the ground. In my backpack, there's a couple of big issues. There's a major hole, but also it's one of these that has a strap that doesn't really work very well. It slips off. I could be walking to school. Which one is it? It's this one. And I look good in the morning. Mr. Tottenham, hey. Mr. Tottenham, hey, good morning. Until, of course, it pins my arm down. Mr. T, good morning. And it slips off. Oh, hi. It works. It's not perfect, but it works. Why did I just point out all of those flaws? How is that like real people? Why is each item flawed? And can that connect to us? Okay, that's it for now. I just wanted to revisit the analogy items. I also wanted to tell you good work. You hang in there. I know it's been a tough couple of weeks, but you're working really hard. Wellness plans looked awesome. Hopefully, eventually, we could to be back in person. Until then, just remember, we're not all perfect, but we work. Also, life circumstances aren't perfect, but we work. But at least you added to your life in some way in the last few weeks. Okay, good job. I'll check in soon. Probably from home. Bye.
What?
Did you give a wave?
No.